Robbers are, without a doubt, some of the worst people on the planet.
The robbery suspect is behind bars thanks to a brave U.S. Marine.
Just think about it. How useless do you have to be to actually steal for a living?
Right. Let's make some money.
But what happens when these crooks finally meet fate?
Now some nail-biting video as three men approach a house they claim to be police.
Well, stay tuned, and I'll tell you all about it. Number 1. Armed robbery goes wrong. Watching these robbers get a taste of their own medicine is super satisfying.
He attempts to hold up a liquor store where the owner is armed.
They're all geared up as they hop out of the car to hold up this convenience store. But what they don't know is that there's a surprise waiting on the other side of the door. As soon as the first crook rushes inside, he's met with a loud blow from a shotgun, nearly losing his arm. He sprints out screaming like a little baby, and his accomplices know better to not mess with this store owner as they quickly drive away. Anyway, the word is the robber sustained no serious injuries and got 10 well-deserved years in jail. Number 2, piece of cake. Don't mess with the Marine Corps, ladies and gentlemen. This retired Marine stopped a potential robbery
The robber until police arrived.
in a matter of seconds after snatching a pistol off this robber. Watch closely this time, as it's almost muscle memory for this brave Samaritan as he shuts down the threat in no time. Oh, and watching the other masked bandit scramble for his life is just hilarious. Number 3, a power move. This has to be the funniest robbery attempt ever.
It's all about service.
The store clerk completely ignores this robber, and for a second, you can even see the masked pirate realize just how insignificant he is. And the best part is when the customers get in on it too, going about their evening without paying any attention to him at all. Honestly, that's probably one of the most clever ways to shut down a robbery. Number 4. Say hello to my little friend. It's a miracle these robbers managed to escape without getting hit.
It's a home invasion!
They're trying to kick down this door in the middle of the night, but waiting on the other side is an angry homeowner. As soon as these robbers kick in the door, a shot goes off, narrowly missing the first guy's head. He's lucky to be alive, but yeah, that's what you get for messing with the wrong person. Number 5. Spring breakers save the day. These spring breakers were not about to let this armed thug get away with anything. It immediately turns into an intense battle as the group of friends fight this thug, trying to disarm him. The fight goes to the ground, and another crook comes running in to save his partner. They're going at it hard before things finally break up, and that's when we see how one of the boys has managed to secure the weapon. The tables have turned, and these robbers are left with no other option but to give up and run back to their vehicle. Oh, and did you know one of the robbers actually asks for his gun back at the end? Number 6. Hero shopkeeper saves the day. Machetes are scary, and when you're dealing with someone who's not afraid to use them, it takes a lot of courage to fight back. But this hero shopkeeper risked it all as he trapped these machete-wielding robbers inside his store. The brave man almost loses a hand as he attempts to shut the door while the robber tries to yank it open. Another Samaritan comes running in to help, and together they both manage to seal the door shut and trap these dangerous robbers inside. They eventually crack open the door with their machete, but since the way is still blocked, they're forced to escape from a tiny bathroom window. Number 7. Failed jewelry heist. This footage is intense. These robbers are attempting to hit a jewelry store as they can be seen cracking open glass counters with sledgehammers.
As officers ran in,
They smashed.
The police have arrived, though, and they aren't about to let these masked idiots get away so easily. You can see a police officer handle one of the robbers as his body slams him to the ground. Thankfully, the cops managed to arrest all 4 thieves and prevented a loss of more than $1.5 million. Number 8. Robbing the wrong store. Boy, did this fool make the worst mistake of his life. He pulls out a gun and approaches the counter, thinking it'll be an easy hit. But there's a big bad wolf just waiting to educate him.
And stuff down while this armed robbery's going.
He's in the gray and takes his sweet time to put down his cans before grabbing the gun and putting the robber in an epic chokehold. If you look closely, you can actually see him educating this robber about how he shouldn't be going around hitting up stores. The robber struggles a bit, but this guy has him good, and with the cashier also stepping in, he stands no chance. He gets smacked a couple of times, and if you ask me, it's a well-needed beating, considering he'll think long and hard before doing something this dumb again. Number 9. Not so easy. Watching this cashier bolt at this robber is just incredible. So much could have gone wrong considering the guy was armed, but salute to the cashier's bravery. He risked it all and took this thief head-on as the duo engaged in a blown-out scuffle for a good minute. The fight eventually breaks up, and the robber rushes into the back door, giving the cashier just enough time to ring the cops. The robber then attempts to escape, but once again, he's taken down, and this time for good, as the brave man finally takes him down. Number 10. Quick thinking. It's a bit hard to tell, but the guys in the green and blue shirts over here are robbers getting ready to hit this grocery store. One guy pretends to buy something while the other one looks around to make sure the coast is clear before pulling out his weapon. But the shopkeeper is a cowboy who opens fire at these robbers quicker than they can even react. He gets the drop on them, and frankly speaking, they had no idea what was coming, and that, folks, is how quick thinking saves the day. Number 11. Rocked by a flashlight. Imagine holding up a store with a gun, only to get knocked out cold by a flashlight.
Robbery, and this is dangerous, this is a deadly force.
Well, if you're this guy, there's no need to imagine, since he got rocked by a random guy who battered him with a flashlight. He's struck on the head multiple times, as the brave man then disarms him and tells him to bugger off. But this robber got struck so badly that he can't even stand up straight as we see him wobble before falling down again. He gets back up and eventually makes it out of the store. Maybe this thug will finally see the light after this one. Number 12. Amateur robber. I wouldn't say this guy messed with the wrong person or something. He just picked the wrong profession because he absolutely sucks at being a criminal. Watch as he fumbles his weapon and drops it behind the counter. He then tries to hop the counter to retrieve it, but quickly storms out of there, knowing he's the worst robber ever. Number 13. Self-karma. The guy in the white helmet is holding up this store. He gets the innocent customer to empty his pockets as the guy behind the counter readies the cash. It's all going well for this guy, but as he's putting his gun away, he literally shoots himself in the leg. Yape! You heard that right. He did everything right and almost got away. But I guess you're actually your biggest enemy. Watching him limp out of the store is so satisfying. Number 14. Picking the wrong team. Sometimes we don't even need to humble these dumb robbers, as they're often capable enough to do that to themselves. This gang is about to wipe this jewelry store clean as the driver rams a 4x4 into the shop. A robber with a sledgehammer hops out and gets to work, but that's when the security shutter starts coming down. What was supposed to be a slick move by his partner turned into a nightmare for this robber as he got struck hard by the truck. If you listen closely, you can even hear the agony in his scream, and honestly speaking, it's the best thing I've heard this week. Anyway, you'll be glad to know this dumb gang of robbers was arrested shortly after, with some of the members receiving more than 10 years behind bars. Number 15. Teamwork is dreamwork. Everything is going according to this thief's plan before a brave gentleman snatches his gun. Another Samaritan rushes in with what appears to be a window cleaner and starts smacking the masked robber. More civilians jump in and eventually restrain him and keep him there until the cops show up. Now that's what I call teamwork. This robber had no chance at all, and even if he tried to run away, I'm sure he would have gotten a good public beating. Number 16. Lawn enforcement. All this Texas worker needed was a weed cutter to stop this robber. He chucks it at the vehicle, which swerves hard as one robber falls right out onto the pavement. The worker then grabs his weed cutter and literally strikes this robber numerous times, preventing him from escaping. You can actually see him get hit with the weed cutter, and honestly, it's probably got to be one of the most creative ways to stop a robber. Now, this fool did eventually get away, but I'm sure he went home with a lot of bruises because getting struck by a weed cutter has to hurt. Number 17. Nice try, fools. This guy is posing as a maintenance worker as he attempts to lure out the residents. He's playing the part pretty well too. He's carrying a little clipboard, pretending to write some really important maintenance stuff, but when he notices no one's going to come out, he turns to plan B. He calls in the big boy, who goes absolutely berserk on the door, kicking it multiple times to get in. They take turns trying to take down the door, and that's when the resident sprays an entire magazine of bullets through the wall. Both these robbers are lucky they didn't get hit, and whoever installed that door deserves some serious credit. Number 18. Brave woman takes on 3 robbers. Don't break into houses or this will happen. This woman didn't hold back one bit as she emptied an entire magazine at 3 robbers inside her home. That's a different level of bravery. Honestly, the look of terror on these robbers was worth every shot. And while 2 of the robbers got away unharmed, the news is one of them got hit and had to be rushed to the hospital. Number 19. A broken arm. What else did this woman expect, sticking her hand into someone's house? That was such a nasty swing, and you can actually hear it hit her bone. I'm 100% positive she has a broken arm after that hit, and in a way, she also deserved it because she's breaking into houses in broad daylight. Anyway, from the looks of it, this is probably a very common theft since the homeowner was prepared. Number 20. Lucky to be alive. Remember that clip at the start when the homeowner nearly blows a robber's head off? Well, this is a similar one, as we see a bunch of burglars trying to sneak into this house. What they don't know is that the Ring camera notifies the homeowner whenever there's movement, and unfortunately for them, he's ready with a shotgun. The door is kicked in, and off goes a shotgun. The robbers run for their lives and surprisingly make it out of there alive. Number 21. Don't mess with a mom. I think this was actually a planned hit. The robber probably knew this home would be an easy target since it was just a mother and her baby. As he's trying to find a way to get inside, Mama Bear is watching him from the other side. She waits and picks the perfect moment to open up the door and scare this thief off with her shotgun. Oh, and you know what I find most ironic about this clip? The robber has a Mercedes. Chances are it's probably stolen, but robbing people in a Mercedes? Now that's a first. Number 22. The wrong house. These robbers got way more than they bargained for after picking the wrong house. They can be seen in the CCTV cam snooping around the house, trying to find some valuables. One of them is seen carrying a purse as they move from room to room, looking for something big. There's not a lot of audio in the clip, but I think the homeowner might have heard all the ruckus, and that's when she decided to take matters into her own hands. She comes out, guns blazing, and fires several shots, nearly hitting the robbers. The funniest part is how her partner is literally sleeping with his own gun, who quickly rushes down as well to provide backup. As robbers, these guys could not have made a more terrible decision by trying to rob a double-gun household. Number 23. A good beatdown. It's the middle of COVID, and these 2 guys are going door to door pretending to be health workers. They knock and wait.
Terrifying home invasion by 2 bandits wearing hospital masks.
And when the homeowner opens up, they try to barge in. But that's when their entire plan backfires. The homeowner brings the action, drags one of the robbers out, and unleashes a fury of punches. And while both of these burglars eventually get away, the police actually tracked one down later that evening and shot him dead. It's definitely unfortunate, but that's also why you shouldn't rob people. Number 24, Old Man's Strength. I know this clip just starts off with two guys going at it, but let me explain. The guy in the black shirt is a robber who was snooping around this man's garage, trying to steal something. He gets clipped with a deadly hook that sends him to the floor, and hearing him beg for forgiveness is very satisfying. That's what I call old man's strength right there, folks. Despite being much older than the thief, he schooled his backside with ease. Number 25, Look of Shock. This guy is actually posing as a delivery guy, waiting for the homeowner to open up so he can force his way inside. He whips out his pistol and attempts to break in, only to get shoved out hard. The look on his face is just priceless. He's probably thinking how, despite having a gun, this guy still isn't afraid of him. It could also be that the gun is fake, or this guy just didn't have any plans to use it. Either way, while this homeowner definitely showed bravery, you just never know how these situations can play out. Number 26, the cowboy hat should have been enough. This guy came into this convenience store thinking it'd be a walk in the park, getting to work straight away as he made this Mexican cowboy empty his pockets. He makes the mistake of turning his back towards him, and that's when the rodeo starts. The cowboy frees the gun, and another worker quickly grabs it and diffuses the situation. The cowboy continues to wrestle, but he eventually breaks free and tries to run out. His body slammed by a worker hard and fails to escape as he stopped just inches from the door. Number 27, Wife's Hero. This guy went a bit too far testing his luck after getting caught stealing a woman's purse.
Have a hold of her purse and start running off, but
the husband or boyfriend ran, caught the man, and landed deadly knees on the thinker, knocking the thief out cold. And I don't know about you, but that's a lucky man right there. He's probably her hero now. But if you ask me, the dude's a hero regardless, since he schooled this robber and made him rethink his life decisions. Number 28. Armed robbers get smoked. This footage is from a store in Brazil, and it shows a robber ordering the storekeeper to let his partner in. The robber goes straight towards the back office, only to be hit with multiple bullets. It turns out the person has been watching everything through his camera. One thief manages to get away, but unfortunately for the other guy, he's been hit, and there's no way he's getting out of this one. He covers himself with a chair and makes one last attempt to get out, but he's shot again and goes down right outside the shop. Number 29, John Wick. These two masked robbers are running through a barbershop as they get everyone to empty their pockets. It looks like a big loot since it's a busy day, but the guy sitting in the middle seat is actually a concealed carrier. And as soon as he sees an opening, he whips out his handgun and shoots down the robber in the hoodie before quickly switching and taking out the guy with the rifle. It's honestly a move you'd see in John Wick, considering how clean he was with the shots and his movement. Not only did this guy save the day, but he also saved everyone a lot of money. Number 30, wrecked by a rolling pin. This is probably my favorite clip in this entire video. The man in the green shirt is robbing a restaurant. He's in the kitchen as his partner clears the lobby outside, but just one moment of carelessness can ruin everything. He turns his head away for just a second and gets rocked with a rolling pin. Watching him get hit is amazing. He goes down hard and drops his weapon as well. The kitchen staff grabs the gun and soon finds out it's a fake and continues to beat both these guys out of the restaurant. And in case you were wondering what the speciality was that day, it was justice. Number 31. Good night. This armed robber probably thinks he's about to get paid big before being battered with a chair. The blow clearly rocks him, with the staff quickly rushing in to apprehend him and throw him out of the store. I'm pretty sure he got a good beating for terrorizing the restaurant staff, and if you watch the end of the clip, you'll even see the weapon he brought. It's like a makeshift gun, but clearly this guy is an amateur since he had his rear uncovered. Number 32, RoboCop. You could spot these guys from a mile away, to be honest. They're like the perfect match of what thieves would look like. Anyway, they make their move and jump the counter to get to the cash register. A guard outside sees everything unfold, and his entry just couldn't have been more badass. He opens the door and fires a round, looking like the Terminator, and that's when these dumb robbers start yelling out how their weapon is a fake. Well, I got news for you boys. His weapon is real. He fires some warning shots before quickly taking over the entire situation. Number 33, Mom and Daughter Duo. This robber probably thought it would be the easiest score of his life after encountering a mom and daughter running their store. He enters, flashing a shotgun, and immediately goes for the till, emptying it out as the woman patiently waits her turn. As soon as he's out of the frame, the woman grabs the gun and hands it to her mom, who fires a shot at him, forcing him to flee. She unloads another shot, and this guy clearly got way more than he bargained for. This just goes to show you how even unskilled people can protect themselves during a robbery. Number 34, dental robbery gone wrong. I saved the best for last. This dental appointment turned into an entire scene after two robbers stormed the clinic and held everyone up. You can see the patient start acting a bit weird as he immediately gets on the ground, almost as if he's covering something. Well, he has a firearm, and when one of the robbers comes to pat him down, it turns into a struggle since he doesn't want that gun in his hands. He somehow manages to snatch the knife from the robber and holds him down, as well as his partner, waiting for the police to arrive. That's a hero right there. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. So, what do you think? Which clip did you find most interesting? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content in the future.